Welcome.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Look who's
happy-
joined.
Oh, look at that belly. What's their name?
It's Steve.
Steve.
Steve the cat.
When he said that, he looked up at you. He's like, what? Well, we're going to see some more of Steve a little later on. So welcome everyone who's here. If you are here, come say hi in the comments. We'd love to say hi. So we've got today with us Laura May and Amanda V from HQ Recordings. Woo! Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're continuing our conversation about women in the music industry. And I'm very, very pleased to have Laura and Amanda joining us to give us some real perspective, both from kind of the behind the scenes types of role that Amanda is more often seen in, and then kind of the front stage that Laura is more familiar with. So I can't wait to talk about it. Hello, everyone. If you're here, come say hi in the comments. Hey, Phileas. Welcome. So there are lots of opportunities to talk with all of us and ask lots of questions. So please throw those out there. But could we maybe kick it off just introducing, just in case we've seen Amanda quite a few times already here and lots of record shop things. But for those who maybe don't remember or are new and need a refresher, Amanda, can you give us a little bit of the lowdown on you and your role?
Yeah, of course. My name is Amanda Vanderheyden. I'm the co-founder of HQ Recordings, and I'm also Laura's artist manager. And very, very involved with record shop content creation.
Yeah, Amanda, you'll have seen her designs on pretty much every single HQ card. Last time we had you on, we were raving about the clothing, the merch that you've made. So that's some of what you've already seen from Amanda. And Laura May, first time we've had you on. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm Laura, and I'm involved with HQ a lot because I've had loads of tunes on the label. Obviously, they've signed me as well under their artist management, and I'm just like trance, techno, DJ, producer, crazy cat lady.
And we know you from you have a few different names you go under.
Yeah, so there's Laura May is like my trance, hard trance, tech trance name, and then May I is like my techno, like alter ego. And then I've just joined forces with my friend Mickey. So we've come under our like short name Maymar.
Cool.
So that's going to be like more of a hard trance sort of hard house sort of style.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I thought we'd kick it off. Can you give us both a little bit of your history, how you got involved in music? Want to start with Amanda?
Sure. I got dragged into the music industry I was a raver to start off with, and I was curious how I can get involved in the music industry. So I started doing some graphic design for a lot of the artists. Logo creation, visuals, podcasts, websites, you name it. So I met Gary Chartier, who's Ganesh, and he invited me to work on some of the graphic design for HQ Recordings. Then fast forward to a few weeks later, ended up becoming head of marketing and then accounting and co-owner. So, and now most recently, I've gotten involved in artist management. Hence, I manage Laura and her techno alias, May I, and her duo with Mickey Maymar. So very involved with Laura, very involved now in the music industry as far as behind the scenes and graphic design, and pretty much all the above. I do everything but produce music. So,
are you ever going to make the leap?
I don't know.
Never say never.
Yeah, my husband always says, "Oh, why don't you be one of those sexy techno DJs, girl DJs? You know, they are out." He likes those a lot. And I was like, no, I'm not interested in learning how to produce. I already have enough on my hands. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, for me again, I was a raver first, so I started raving. Then I got into DJing next, and then I took the step to learn to produce after that. So it was sort of in that order. And then I think it was Gary got in touch with me about releasing on HQ, and then that's what sort of started the HQ family, and that's how I met Amanda as well.
That's awesome. Amanda, do you want to tell us a little bit about why and how and the story why you approached Laura?
Well, first off, Laura's awesome. We love her production. She's
Thank you.
so on point. We get a track from Laura and we're just blown away. I think she's one of the best producers in the scene, both for techno and hard trance. Just such a unique style and something that definitely fits the diversity of HQ because we like a lot of experimental and we like a lot of sounds that are very old school and new age. So she just fit right in there perfectly. And we're absolutely thrilled to have her on board. Pretty much everything she sends our way, we sign. So definitely one of our favorites. She's a resident and obviously very, very involved with HQ now and also our new sub-labels. So Laura's been involved from the beginning, including Record Shop as well. She was one of our
first yeah, you got me involved in that as well. So anything Amanda says, I'm like, yeah, I'll just agree because I know she knows the stuff. So I'm like, yep, I'll do that.
Love it. And well, I guess that leads me to one of the questions I had for you that we didn't really prepare in advance. So sorry, hopefully I'm not throwing you too much something different. But, you know, I think it's a really interesting intersection where we're like a bunch of women in this space from like just the music space that's already very heavily male dominated to specifically electronic music, and now making the leap over to this technology space of NFTs, having to deal with NFTs and all of this. So how has that transition been for you? What excites you about Record Shop and like this space in general? And how do you do it fearlessly?
Oh, man. I think for me, it's being okay not knowing every detail. And just having fun with it. I mean, Lisa, you're also a collector before joining the Record Shop team, so you've experienced the excitement from a collector's point of view. And the whole thing with me is just to have fun with it. And from a business perspective, just really trying to understand it and, you know, find out who's involved, artist-wise, industry-wise, and not really allowing anything else to be an element. So, and when I involve Laura in it, obviously, you know, she put her own twist on it and had a lot of fun. So there's personality in there, and also kind of just factoring in that this is all a new space for everyone. So not everyone has it down. Just feeling like, you know, open and vulnerable, but, you know, not taking it too seriously, especially in this space.
Yeah, I still need to do a lot of research, really. It's still new to me, all this like NFTs and stuff. I understand the concept of it, but it's still taking a bit of time to get in my head. It's quite complicated.
That's fair. I mean, and the way I see it, like I love what Amanda just said, is you don't have to be an expert in it. Because I've been in technology and in IT for a long time, and I don't understand how any of it works. I'm not a developer. But to just know where you can like have fun and experiment with things and try new things. And it's really just having an open mind. So I appreciate you both having an open mind and giving it all a go here with us. Can you tell us a little bit about your production background, Laura? Like, how did you move from DJ to producer?
So it was quite a while ago now. It was around 2005. I decided to, because then when it was starting to move, when DJing was moving to digital, because I started on vinyl, but then when it moved digitally, a lot more people could DJ, so the market was flooded with DJs, so you had to stand out, and then that way of standing out was to produce your own music. So that's what made me like want to get into production. So I got Reason 2.5 in about 2005, and then I was just a bit overwhelmed with it, so I had a little dabble here and there, and then I had my two boys 2006 and 2009, so I didn't really get much time in that period to sort of really get my head into it. So after that, that's when I really started to just keep practicing with it. And then, I mean, if I listen to some of my productions like 15 years ago, I'm like, oh, you know, I could redo that much better now. But that's the thing, it's a constant learning experience. Even now, you're always learning. But I just love being creative and just I love that's one of the having fun as well, like having fun with it, not taking it too seriously, just yeah. So the main reason was just to sort of stand out a bit, but also I just love it. I love it as much as DJing, I think, equally.
Amazing. And you play other instruments too? Some in real life instruments?
Yeah, I play the drums as well. Like I'm not in a band or anything, but I've got a drum kit, and I used to have a weekly drum lesson until my teacher retired this year, unfortunately. Yeah, it was again, like I'm one of those annoying people that just taps. Those annoying people that just tap all the time. I'm always like just drumming in my head, not even realizing it. So I just love and that sort of, I think that translates into a lot of my productions. Is I love heavy percussion in them. So I just it's just one of those. Because I couldn't read music until I started having drum lessons, and then I can read it and stuff now. So that then complemented my productions, because I could sort of see how the bar was broken up into the beats and things. And also good for timing and things when you're DJing, so it all sort of complements each other.
Yeah, I imagine that's helpful. Dizmaster saying hi from Denmark. Hello. Laura, just because you were talking about your kids, and just curious, how do you balance being a producer and doing all of this, like all of the stuff that you do with music, with your kids, and do you bring them into any of it? How are you engaging them in music?
So they were exposed to trance in the womb, because I was DJing like when I was 38 weeks pregnant. I was still DJing, so they were used to it. But they like tell me to shut the door and turn it down. So they tell me off for having the music too loud. But yes, once they started school, because I work from home in the daytime, so that so I can still take them to school and things. But once they started school, that then gave me a lot of time to really concentrate and spend more time in my studio and stuff. But yeah, they're not really into my music, I think, because they listen to it all the time. They're like, "Oh, is she playing that again?" They just tell me to shut up. But it'd be nice if I could like pass it on a bit to them. But I think they've got their own interests, which is more like gaming and TikTok. not really into trance or techno.
You made some TikTok videos, Laura, the Mama Makes Beats.
Oh yeah, did a couple
And
of those.
he asked you to make one for Record Shop, which ended up being a pretty popular hit.
Yeah, Steve's on that, the cat. Steve and Tessa, two of my cats, are on it.
Yeah, that was a huge hit. I remember that one from like early days.
That was the
drop?
first one, I think I did.
Yeah.
First one with Steve, yeah.
Yeah, that was such a fun one. And like for me, it was a big, because you were one of the only women, I think, in the first drop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back. So like that was huge for me. I was like, oh, on repeat.
Again, that just shows how you can have fun with it as well. Fun with music. You can make random sounds into instruments. Even cats hissing at each other. You can make it into an instrument.
Yeah. I'm going to go find it. Let me see if I can bring that one up, because that is one of my faves. It's in my collection somewhere. Just got a little bit stuff.
Sequel by popular demand.
Oh yeah, I made another one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it goes. Let me share my screen. There
There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
I made it really cringy on purpose as well. no, like thug life thing. I thought it'd just make it extra cringy.
Oh, it's funny.
Mama Makes Beats. Kiddie style.
That's the theme.
Love it. All right. Let me. Yeah. Hell yes. That's so
You
fun.
could tell that wasn't planned either. I was filming both cats, and then Tessa decided to hiss at him. I was like, "Oh, I'll use that."
So, okay, I'm not like a very musical person, but I could definitely feel the inspiration of like you're into the percussion and like already feeling that. Where does that come from? Like, how do you get to something like that from just hearing your cats?
It honestly is nothing's planned. Like, if I ever make a track, I don't have a goal. I don't see a finish line. I just do it there and then, just see what happens. And I think, yeah, and then it just sometimes it just all works and it just flows. Other times you're like, oh, it's not working, it takes ages. But things like, like if you don't overthink it, I think it always just naturally works. So yeah, I don't know. It's like I'll try that. I don't really plan it. It's just a bit random, to be honest.
Nice. Amanda, before we hopped on, we were just talking a little bit about how it is being a woman kind of backstage in this industry where you're not even like, I'm assuming, I'm going to make some assumptions here, you're seeing even less women than you see who are on stage when you're backstage doing all the support stuff that you do. So just curious, like, what has your experience been like? Just maybe we can start there.
Most of my experiences backstage have been with Insomniac, and such a great group back there. We really enjoy making sure the artists are accommodated and networking, obviously, as well. And it's been great every single time. It definitely feels, you don't feel like you stand out. You definitely feel like you've been welcomed in, which I love. And I haven't brought Laura over to the US yet, but most of my artists that I manage are male. So, but no, everyone's been really welcoming, very receptive. I love chatting with all the other artists and industry professionals, and people are very open-minded. I've been back there with Paula, Solarstone's wife. So that was fun. That was our first time meeting, actually. We talked about Record Shop, and that was at this past Dream State. So there are other women back there. I don't know necessarily what all their roles are. Some are photographers, some are artist managers. Others are artists themselves. So I try to chat with them as often as I can, but it's always been a really great experience back there. And yeah, I don't see as many female industry professionals, but it's definitely something that's a growing field as well.
That's awesome. Do you see any initiatives that are trying to like very specifically focus on women and on bringing them in? Just curious, like, or if not, where would you suggest that a woman who wants to step into the industry and maybe do some of the more behind the scenes type of work, how can they get involved in that?
I definitely think it starts with doing some outreach and a little bit of networking. LinkedIn's a great tool for me. I think when I first got involved with Record Shop, I had a conversation with Paula, and I found all of you on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, cool, Record Shop has a lot of women on board, which is fantastic, as well as Insomniac. I, just find out what people's roles are, and I reach out to them, and we network. And I make the effort to have those conversations on and off stage, backstage, just making that effort to get to know everyone in the industry, and everyone's willing to connect you and help out as well. So it just begins with having the courage to reach out. Everyone's really receptive, and they want, more females in the industry or to grow it themselves. So definitely don't be afraid to reach out to me, for example, or anyone else who's involved in this industry, and find out how you can get involved, whether it be connecting with another artist for production, live performance, or just the ins and outs of what happens behind the scenes, especially for record labels as well. There aren't many female record label owners, at least in the scene that Laura and I are in. But, I'm always willing to mentor or have a conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, I think for those who maybe haven't seen Amanda on our streams in the past, like, she's incredibly organized, and just like she gets back to you every single time with what you need, or making sure that you're getting her what you need in our case often. So yeah, like, reach out. I think that's great to be able to step out of your comfort zone and knowing that there's someone there who's done it before, it's comforting. So thank you.
Reassuring for sure, especially since I don't feel like there's a way to figure out the music industry since it's constantly evolving. I mean, Record Shop is a perfect example. It's a new format. It's something that's different. And, people are going to want to research, how do I get involved? I want more information. It's like, right here we have us discussing it. And there's no way to like really figure out the industry. There's no formula to it. So everyone has their own perspective, their own take, their own experience.
Amazing. Laura, I guess similar question. When you started in the industry and have you been seeing changes in how many women DJs you're seeing and how many women producers, and just kind of curious to see your thoughts on that?
I think it's still male dominated, which it always has been, but I think there are a lot more than there used to be. But yeah, I think with like anything with sort of the more technical side of things, it's always more male dominated, and especially with production as well, that seems to be a lot more male dominated as well.
Yeah. But do you have any tips on how to like get started, other than maybe I don't know if there's anything different?
Just like if you really enjoy it, just do it, but don't just do it and have fun. I think don't overthink things. That's what I think in general in life. Just don't overthink it and just like enjoy yourself. And then the more you enjoy something, the more naturally you understand it and stuff anyway. So if it is for you, you'll pick it up and stuff. But like if you really want to, if you're serious about getting involved with it, then get some tutoring, or like there's a lot of people that engineer and stuff, so you could learn from like a professional. But yeah, if you enjoy it, just do it and don't care about what anyone says.
Love it. Oh man, had another point, but now I lost it. Do want to make sure anybody who's here and listening in, if you do have any questions for these wonderful women, please don't be afraid to ask. We also have coming up a DJ set that Laura May prepared for us about a week ago, exclusively for Record Shop. So do you want to tell us what we're going to be listening to shortly?
So it's basically all my releases on HQ exclusively. So yeah, they're all my own productions. The last tune's actually a remix I did of Obi's track that was on HQ. And then I've got two NFTs on there, haven't I, as well?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say? I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Yeah, it's When I Found Out, and then the new one,
that was my
Ascension. Yeah. That one I love. That's the one we used in the teaser when we announced HQ Ascension was going to be an exclusive catalog on Record Shop.
Yeah, so there's the When I Found Out techno one, and then there's the trance one on HQ Ascension, which are on there. So, and then the one I've just had that's just out now, that Beatpot have put in the hard techno chat for some reason, but even though it's hard but that's a syncopated one, which is like that's really heavily percussion based, that one. So yeah, it's just basically like all my productions on HQ. So I managed to do a full set, which is quite incredible, really. I didn't realize I had that many tracks on HQ, but I've managed to do like a full set. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we see, is it Steve who makes the appearance?
Yeah, so Steve was there, just, like, he's my crowd I was playing to.
Yeah, I love it. You just stop and go and pet him. I was like, yeah, I would have.
So cute.
I would do. And do you have some upcoming shows and releases for the spring and summer?
Yes,
He's going to be playing at the HTE Weekender in June with Mickey Marr as their duo alias Maymar. That's going to be very, very exciting. So
yeah, I can't wait for that.
Super cool. I think, Laura, is that your next show, I believe?
I think I wrote a note. I think that's it. Yeah, that is my next show. Yeah.
We can't announce yet. So.
But Mickey's going to come over. We're working on a track that's almost finished, and then we're going to do a couple of bootlegs and mashups and stuff as well. So we've got some exclusive like material for the set. So yeah, that'll be cool.
Awesome. Can you tell us about any of your influences in the industry, people that you look up to? Would love to hear before we listen in on your set.
Scott Project, who doesn't look up to him? Just loads of, and David Forbes, that sort of sound, the real tech trancey sound and hard trance sound. Mark Sherry as well. I use him as my mastering engineer, so I've always taken on board his advice and stuff. So I look up to his productions as well, because he's quite diverse and he does techno and trance, and tech trance as well. And off grid, I really like Hans Zimmer as well. I know it's not techno or trance, but I love orchestral cinematic sounds as well. I'm just a bit of everything, really. I like a bit of heavy rock as well. Just a bit random. And when I do the Mama Makes Beats stuff, I just think, I could use that sound. I'll hear a zebra crossing, and you press a button, it beeps. I'm like, I could use that. My mind's always ticking over, I could sample that. And if I'm watching a film, I'm like, I can sample that quote. That's good. But yeah, it's never ending. My mind just always ticking over, thinking what sounds I could use.
Love it. Love it. I love just sometimes when we're doing these interviews, I get absorbed in what people are saying. And I'm like, that's so cool that your brain, because I don't think I pick up on sounds like that, but I do it with other things. And I'm just it's so cool that your brain picks those things up. And then you're how am I going to use that somewhere else? It's just so interesting to me.
Yeah, it's
so
really
cool.
weird when I'm mixing down a track. So you almost meditate into the sound and the frequencies, and you can suddenly hear, that's not a nice sound. So you sort of scoop it out the frequency range. But I've tried before. I've had a fan going in the summer, and I'll just automatically try and EQ the fan. I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's a physical item. So it's really weird once you've meditated into that. Sometimes you can't switch your brain off. It's a bit random.
That's awesome. No, it's so cool. And for me, I do a lot of theater in my free time. Not recently, but and for me, it's the lighting. I love looking at the lighting, and we'll come out of a show and I'll turn to my husband and be like, did you see what they did at the lights? He's like, no. It's yeah, but that's the perfect part, is when they're so good at it, you don't even notice. And it's the same thing with music, right? When you put in and make it feel that's just how it was supposed to be, whether it's a cat screaming at your other cat or whatever it may be. Because I just love that you can take those seemingly random things or things that I would never think to bring into music and make it feel completely natural. So it's so cool.
Yeah.
And Amanda, for you, it's visual arts and all of your design concept. And I know last time we really dug into the HQ brand. Are there any projects that we can hear about that you've been working on, or new designs? Obviously you had to, and with your new label, is sub label or new label? Is it completely sub label?
Yeah.
So how
uplift?
Yeah. So how has that been, designing something separate?
To be honest, this one came a little more naturally than the others. HQN, we know we wanted something really dark. But for Ascension, I was going for more of an explosive galactic look. I can't really describe it, but something that was breaking through barriers, or the light shining through. And that was just my concept for it. So you guys will see some of the artwork on our socials that we just set up. But I kept listening to Laura's debut track over and over again for inspiration. And then obviously sharing it with some of my close network and my immediate team, Gary and RJ. So we nailed it in relatively quickly. But the aesthetic of this one is going to be completely different than the industrial grunge look of HQ recordings. but we still wanted it to look really top notch. So I'm also thinking the video work for it is going to be a little different as well, as I do all of the videos and trailers for the record label. And with Record Shop, we want to keep things a little discreet until the drop. So I want to collaborate, obviously, with the production team to see what they can come up with and what I can come up with. There is another artist that I'm actually partnering up with for some of the stuff that's going to be released on this catalog. So it's because I want to be open to collaboration and to learn from them as well.
Yeah, no, awesome. Laura, we had a question in the comments here for you from Dizmaster. What are your thoughts on the current hard trance scene, and what makes a track stand out for you?
Well, it's sort of coming around again. It was really big in like the early 2000s. You know, like when Scott Project again. I'll bring his name up, and Marco V was sort of tech trancey and stuff. And it's sort of, it's just doing a big cycle really. It's coming around. A good kick drum you need a good kick drum that will make it sort of stand out. It's getting a lot faster now, I think, as well. Like with the techno, so it seems to be sort of blurring into one. The techno is becoming a bit more trancey and faster, and then the trance is becoming a bit more techno in the groove as well. It's sort of all sometimes it's hard to define what's techno and what's trance these days. I'm just trying to read what makes a track stand out. Just a good production really would make a track stand out for me, because I think once you produce, you do sort of over-analyze it a bit more when you understand more of the mix down and that sort of detail. But yeah.
Sometimes we get a demo and I'm not even sure which label to put it on, because
it's hard
enough. HQN or HQ. And then, obviously we're getting a lot of cooler, more uplift stuff. So we have Ascension around the corner, but it's like, wow, sometimes it could fit all three. So we just kind of have to pick and choose at that point. But like Laura was saying, the genres are really, really blending together, especially techno and trance.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know whether I'm Laura May or May I. When I've made it, I'm like, oh, who am I for this one? I don't know.
Let's just be your name switch. Who am I?
Yeah, who am I? Yeah.
Another alias.
I can't have any more. I've got enough personalities. Not another one.
Do you actually feel like you tap into different personalities when you're working on different tracks and like depending on where you're going?
Yeah, I think so. Like with techno, I try and just be more percussion based and just forget the melodies. But then, because I'm a trance head, that's what I started off really. I can't help but I remember sending loads of stuff to Mark's Tech Burst label early on when I just started out with techno, and he's like, "Oh, it's too trancey, Laura." And I'm like, "What about this? Oh, it's still too trancey." I couldn't just cut off the trance, but now I think I'm managing to sort of define it a bit easier. But like with me and Mickey with Maymar, we've got like 2 tracks now, and we're working on our 3rd one, so we're just sort of finding our sound. But I think it is going to be more down the harder path, just so I've got another separate sort of so I can define all 3 really.
You'll get to see that entire diversity of sound in Laura's set coming up.
Yeah, so it starts off with techno and then goes uplifting, then goes hard sort of. So I've tried to create a journey with the tracks I have had on HQ.
Yeah.
And fast as well.
Yeah, no, and I'm really excited for this set, and I can't wait to share it with everyone. But before, again, I'm going to open it up one more time to any questions in the chat here. But perhaps before we log off and play this set, what would be your number one tip or anything that you would give to women who are interested in entering the music industry? I know we sort of talked about it earlier, but just to reiterate for you and how you, like, based on your experiences, what would be the one thing that you would say?
For me, I would say just be yourself and don't try and change yourself for anyone. And I think when you're original and organic, it sort of tells its own story. Don't try and change. Just be yourself, and hopefully that'll get you where you need to go.
Thank you. It feels like I've really enjoyed talking with you today because I just like, especially now, everything is like really clicking. And like this girl is just like silly, and she's got a glass of wine over there.
I know. It might have gone to my head a bit. Can you tell?
No, it's great. Like, and I think these touch points are awesome because we get to really get to know you and see that side of your personality that we might not actually be able to see through just listening.
I'm not always drinking wine either. It's only at the weekend, just to like let everyone know.
It's probably like almost 9 o'clock for you now. Is that right? Almost 10.
Yeah,
and it's a
That's
Friday.
allowed, it's fine. It's a Friday night. It's
Totally
all right.
fine.
And we're English. We sort of, we like our wine.
Love it. And Amanda, anything else to add to that? Hey,
Pretty
Ganesh.
much the same as Laura. It's just go for it and find your way in the industry with what feels right, whether it be producing or operating a label or artist management or whatever the case may be. You just kind of find what fits for you. And honestly, tap into your resources and just be yourself, and people will be attracted and drawn to that because, like I mentioned earlier, there's no like guidebook to the industry at all, whether it be music or film. So one of the things that I would advise people to do is just go in there, be fearless, and open up, and people will be drawn to you. Everyone has their own unique things that they can bring to the table. That's what creates an impression, and that's how you leave your mark. So I'm new to it as well, but there's still a long ways to go, and I'm very, very excited for the future. And thank you, Laura, for trusting me to be your artist manager, but being relatively new to it.
Whatever you say, Amanda, I'll follow because I know you know your stuff.
Definitely, thank you. But I've been tuning into all the Women of Dance discussions here, and it's been very, very inspiring for me, which is why I wanted to be a part of this too. So hopefully something that I say can inspire someone. But yeah, my main advice would be to just go for it and be fearless.
Love it. And for those of you who might have missed it earlier, Amanda did offer up to reach out to her. She's, I think, a fantastic resource, always responds, and she can at least get you pointed in the right direction.
Yes.
So
LinkedIn, Discord, reach out to me. I'd love to chat.
And if anyone reaches out to me, I'll put them in touch with Amanda.
I know you're going to, Laura. We're just going to bounce people.
So they can reach out to me as well, but yeah.
You're either going to get Amanda or Steve.
Yeah, you get me or Amanda. But Amanda's better.
I'll redirect from Laura to May I, and then Maymar.
Yeah.
And then the cycle of aliases.
Awesome. Well, and appreciate all of your time. I'm going to hit play on the set now. So we're going to tune in to Laura May's exclusive set. You'll see some familiar face, and some of her personality really shine through. It's really, really fun. I'm so excited to play it for everyone. I have a feeling Amanda will stick around in the chat.
Yes.
So if you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out. And I don't know where you're at, Laura, but we'll be around in the chat. So stick around, ask some questions, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so, so much.
Stick around, everyone. It's a great set.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Kicking it off Friday night. Holy crap! What a set. Laura May, you're a queen. Thank you so much for that amazing set. What a way to kick off our weekend. I don't know about you guys. I was here just dancing the whole time. To Phileas's point earlier, yes, this is my real job. Sorry that this isn't your job. Just get to talk with some very inspiring and cool women. Listen to some amazing music that they made. Laura May, thank you so much. Amanda, also thank you. I just really appreciate having you both on and spending your Friday evening with us. Now you get to go enjoy your wine. I'm going to go and make myself a drink as well. Happy Friday, everyone. We're going to go and raid the Disco Fries right now, who are on live. I think reviewing some tracks, doing their Finish My Track potentially. But let's go say hi to Disco Fries.